All right, so why don't we go ahead and start? First thing is opening statements, and each candidate has 2 minutes. Ken?
Well, thank you, Al, and the Neighborhood Association for hosting this evening. My name is Ken Hartley, and the reason I'm running for City Council is because I have a proven track record of leadership in our community. I believe Hermosa Beach is more than the best little beach city. It is a community of people. My wife and I moved to Hermosa Beach in 2006 when we purchased our home. We love Hermosa Beach, and it is indeed beautiful. What any resident wants for the place they call home is also to make sure that it is safe, business and resident friendly, clean, and has sound infrastructure. Community involvement has always been a priority for me. Previously, I was a volunteer firefighter in New Jersey and a deputy fire marshal serving on the Swiftwater, technical, and ice rescue teams. Perhaps the most memorable was on 9/11 when my department responded, and for my efforts, I received the Gloucester County Outstanding American Award. This is primarily the reason that the first large project I pushed to implement and complete was the formation of the city's Emergency Operations Center. This room has received grants and now has smart room technology, keeping our staff in city for video conference training. The EOC doesn't sit idle waiting for a disaster. It is regularly used by the police, fire department, neighborhood watch, Hermosa CERT, and even the U.S. Coast Guard. Utilizing my business strengths, I want to ensure the quality of life in Hermosa Beach and attract new businesses to come here while cultivating the many great businesses that we already have. As the owner of a small business, I have been using my experience to improve our local economy, specifically seen through the Upper Pier Avenue revitalization, which I volunteered my company's services to process the survey data and report to the city on what residents wanted. When the city wanted to hire a part-time economic development person, I saw this as an opportunity for the Chamber of Commerce to help, and with board approval, we donated money to the city to make that a full-time position. Working together is always better than working against. Another example would be me bringing the Firefighter Combat Challenge to Hermosa Beach. Having people from all over the world come to Hermosa Beach and stay at our hotels, eat at our restaurants, and shop at our stores, while competing in a physical agility competition, allows all of our community to benefit in a fun and healthy way. For my efforts, I've been awarded the Leadership Hermosa Beach Emerging Leader Award, a City of Hermosa Beach Leadership Award, and named the Hermosa Beach Man of the Year in 2010. However, I still feel like I'm just getting started and I have much more to offer this city.
Thanks, Ken. Jeff?
Well, thank you, Alan. Thank you again for holding this important forum. I've lived in Hermosa Beach for 36 years. My wife, Christine Duclos, is a local teacher, and we have raised our children here. I have served as a council member and as mayor. Hermosa Beach is an important part of my life, and that's why I'm so committed to giving back to this community that has meant so much to me and my family. Hermosa Beach has reached a turning point. We have just dealt with the most important issue our community has ever faced. Now it's critical that we have a city council that works together to keep our financial house in order. With a fully functional city government that is engaged with residents, there is a tremendous amount of opportunities for Hermosa Beach. I want to help our city council work together on the important issues our residents care about. If you look at my record of public service, I think you'll see that I have the experience and proven leadership skills to make that happen. I know we can make our city more prosperous and maintain the characteristics of this town that we all love. You have 2 votes in this upcoming election, and I hope that I have earned your trust to receive one of those votes. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Trent?
Hello and good evening to all of those in the audience and those of you watching from the comfort of your own home. My name is Trent Larson, and I am running for Hermosa Beach City Council. I am running because I believe City Hall needs strong leadership. My priority on day one will get the council to work as a cohesive team. Hermosa has both major and minor challenges that need to be addressed. And the only way to ensure that we meet these obligations is to work collectively for our residents, guests, and city employees. Collaboration, vigorous, targeted debate, strategic and value-based compromise, and solutions-oriented outcomes that result in expedited progress in reaching our agreed-upon agenda will be my main calling card. This is the spirit of Hermosa. This is what I will bring to the council. And I will do it with passion, with pride, with humility and heart. I have the past, proven performance of getting the job done correctly that holds up under forensic scrutiny and in a way that allows for all sides to claim victory. This is the hard work of listening, thinking outside the box, and proposing creative solutions to seemingly intractable intersections. Leadership requires unbridled tenacity, compassion, and the willpower to get our city managers, elected council members, and concerned residents to a point where progress can be made. Too much of our council's precious monthly meetings are not productive in reaching the goals that we as Hermosans have established. Much of what we discuss gets pushed down the road further and further due to mistrust, selfishness, and a general lack of confidence. I have both the life and business experience that is different from any council member, elected or running, and I will show that from the first day that I take office. I promise you, the people of Hermosa, city officials, and elected leaders, that I will give my all to work together in a positive, helpful, productive manner to get the work of our city done. We can do this. We can heal our divides. We can make our city a better place for all. But it will take effort. It will take self-reflection. It will take compromise and good old-fashioned American ingenuity to collectively reach the solutions that best fit Hermosa Beach. We have an opportunity to turn our city around, to make it the best little beach city, our shining city by the sea, the little city that could, our own little big town, the place that people want to come and the place that people love to live, the place of environmental stewardship,
Trent, you can
of
summarize.
city leadership, of innovation and fun. I love you, Hermosa Beach. Please join me in November 3rd. Together we can lead Hermosa into a brighter, more prosperous future.
Thanks, Trent. Pete?
Thank you. I want to thank you all for attending tonight, and thanks to Al Benson and the Neighborhood Watch Committee. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I'm Peter Tucker, and I'm running for re-election to be your representative on the Hermosa Beach City Council. I want to thank my wife, Sienna, that has allowed me to run and represent the best little beach city. I've lived in Hermosa for 44 years, raised my family, have operated a construction business, and have a lifelong history of volunteer community service. I want to continue to give back to the city we all love. Hermosa Beach has become the small beach town others aspire to be, and our residents have become more engaged in city affairs than ever before. And we have accomplished a lot, and the results of this is the new spirit of community involvement. During my tenure as councilman and as the past mayor, Hermosa has accomplished many things. Hermosa won the Winelands Mayor Water Challenge, first in 2011 and then again this year in 2015. This showed support that Hermosa is committed to sustainability and is on track to be a carbon neutral municipality by 2020. This Wineland win reduced our carbon footprint by 83 million metric tons. After years of effort by the Aviation Pacific Coast Highway Committee, Hermosa Beach has agreed and negotiated with Caltrans to improve these streets into a livable, sustainable street and to enhance the local economy, which is a goal of Hermosa and also Caltrans. We were the host town for the World Games. We hosted the athletes for Belgium and Belize. We put Hermosa Beach on the world map. Measure O motivated the community to get the facts about drilling for oil, and the residents in record number turned out at the polls to defeat Measure O. Hermosa received a AA+ bond rating from Standard & Poor's, which allowed us to pay off the $17 million debt that was the agreement for the defeat of Measure O. Hermosa's general plan and local coastal plan are nearing completion, but community input will be heard again before the final document is completed. Hermosa has attracted some major new commercial companies such as Skechers World Design Center, Dunn Edwards Paint, Enterprise Car Rentals, Lazy Acres Food Market, Trader Joe's, and the reason these businesses come here is because of our financial stability, and they want to appeal to our lifestyle. They think Hermosa Beach is the place to start their business and cater to our
Summarize.
needs. There's much more to do, and I want to represent you and your input to keep Hermosa the best little beach city. Together, we will share the future for a long term. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Justin?
Thank you all for having us. Thank you to the Neighborhood Association. Thank you all for being here, and for everybody at home watching, thank you for tuning in. My name is Justin Massey. I'm going to talk about one subject in my introduction briefly, which is the focus of why I'm running, and that is the infrastructure gap we have in town. But there are many layers to the challenges that the City Council has laid at our doorstep. So I look forward to your questions and Al's questions as we go through this debate. But first, let me tell you who I am. My wife, Jen, and I grew up in Southern California, chose to buy a home in Hermosa Beach and raise our family here. We now have 2 daughters, 3.5 years old and 9 months. We live over on Bard Street. I'm an environmental lawyer and a former middle school teacher. In my current practice, I help cities prevent taxpayers from paying to clean up messes of polluters. As a former middle school teacher, I taught in an old school with cramped facilities and a brand new school with adequate facilities, so I know what it takes to have adequate facilities so teachers can do their jobs and students can excel. Jen is the treasurer of the Moms Club of Hermosa Beach, which is a group that supports moms in Hermosa and also raises money for local charities like the Hermosa Library, like Hermosa Schools. They recently just donated $2,000 to the Hermosa Library so that the library could sponsor programs for kids and also buy books for the library. I've been active in the opposition to oil drilling in Hermosa since the issue surfaced back in 2012. I'm running for City Council to improve our quality of life by investing in our parks, streets, and city buildings. As an example, our police and fire stations were built in 1959 and are out of compliance with state code. We've been putting Band-Aids on them for 20 years. It's time we come up with a budget and a plan to rebuild them. If you get the city's email notices, today you got this notice right here telling you that residents and the city are now asking citizens to raise $300,000 to fill a budget gap so we can complete the renovation of South Park. The question there is that the type of financial planning we can afford? Is that fiscal responsibility? What are the odds that residents are going to be able to fill that gap before El Nino turns that project site into a mudslide? That's not the only gap we have. We have over $100 million in unfunded capital projects that the City Council has no plan to pay for. Unless we elect leaders with a plan to pay for those projects, we're going to lose control over how often the city reaches into our pockets to pay for them.
Justin, you can summarize.
Sure. There are 2 ways I want to do that primarily. One is doing what the city has talked about for 8 years but not done, and that is cutting our energy costs by putting solar panels on city roofs. The second thing is bringing the hotels down at the pier within our height limits and current restrictions so we don't crowd Pier Plaza any more than necessary. That hotel tax comes straight to the city. We don't share it with the county and the state. It also builds our sales tax base and helps local businesses. We can take the savings and the money if we make smart investments like that and take smart actions like that and plow it back into the infrastructure that has been neglected in the city.
Thanks, Justin.